Welcome to Hamilton College. Our program will begin shortly, and many guests still need to take their seats. Please move to the center of your row and take your seat so that the ushers can identify all available seats. Please also take this opportunity to silence your mobile devices. In the event of an emergency, please move quickly and safely to the nearest emergency exit. There are multiple exits surrounding today's event, including 10 exit doors to the audience's left, 6 exit doors to the audience's right, 8 exit doors behind the stage facing the audience, and 6 exit doors at the main entrance. Should you need EMS assistance, please find the nearest usher. Thank you.
This assembly will come to order. Please remain standing if you are able for our land acknowledgement. With humility and pride, Hamilton College acknowledges its campus sits on the ancestral homelands of the Oneida Indian Nation. The Oneida, or Onyataaga, in their indigenous language, means people of the standing stone. Emerging in 1793 from a vision by the Reverend Samuel Kirkland and Oneida Chief Shenandoah, both now interred side by side on our campus, to establish a place where American Indians and settler youth could receive a quality education, Hamilton College's very foundation was built upon Indigenous reciprocity and inclusivity. We recognize our past failures to implement this vision. Through sharing our community and educational resources, we are committed to building a sustainable partnership with the Oneida Indian Nation and the Haudenosaunee peoples. We embrace that our past and our future are forever tied to the Oneida people. Please be seated. It is now my honor to introduce the 21st president of Hamilton College, Stephen Tepper.
Good morning, class of 2025. So even as we gather to celebrate this moment of achievement, we also bear witness to the terrible grief that we feel for the loss of one of your classmates, Rashik Sukat. We can and should hold these two truths simultaneously: grief and celebration. And even though Rashik is not with us this morning, he is very much in our thoughts. And to honor his memory, we have set aside a chair to symbolize that presence. So before we begin today's commencement ceremony, I'll ask all of us just pause for a moment in silence to remember Rashik and his family. They are forever part of this class and this community. So I want to extend a big welcome to all of our families and our friends and members of our extended Hamilton community who are joining us from across the globe. Today is a big day. It's a day that deserves all of this pomp and circumstance. There's only a handful of milestones in your lives like this. So I want to give you one final assignment, our students. We still haven't given you your diplomas yet, so you have to take this seriously. So I want you to think about a word that defines this moment for you right now. It could be a feeling, it could be a hope, it could be a memory, it could be an adjective. And on the count of 3, you are all going to yell your word as loud as you can. Okay, so I'm going to give you exactly 2 seconds to come up with your word. All right, we're ready. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, I think I heard hope. I think I heard someone say optimism, exhaustion. I think I heard someone in that corner say hungover. That's your word for the rest of your life. You should have chosen it more wisely. Okay, so today I want to tell you a story about a student who I know who arrived at Hamilton from across the country. Parts of the story, I imagine, will be familiar to you. The student had never been to central New York, had never been to a rural part of the country, so everything was new, every face, every name, every building. He was told to go to Kirkland Cottage for the signing ceremony. What is this Kirkland Cottage? Who is this Kirkland? Why are we signing this book? Oh, he learned, Samuel Kirkland, founder of the college, an acquaintance of Alexander Hamilton. And he thinks to himself, wow, this place is really old, 1793, more than 231 years. And he thinks about all the students that stood in this cottage before him. And he feels like he's part of something bigger. And then he hears about the dark side and the light side, heart and head and art and science and Charlie XCX and Sabrina Carpenter. He lives on the gray side, so he kind of feels like he's left out of all that drama, and anyway, he likes Taylor Swift. So he walks up the hill every day, and it's a little bit unpleasant, but it's also kind of exhilarating because it slows him down just enough to take in the extraordinary beauty of this campus, and he whispers to himself, I am here. I am really here. It's the same feeling he had on move-in day. The screaming, the dancing, the costumes, the hats, all the very inappropriate signs. And it made his heart sing. Everyone seems to love this place so much. He thought, will I? Will I make friends? Will I fit in? And of course, the community greets him with warmth and kindness, and people walk with their eyes up, and they say hello, and they hold the door open for each other. He stops to play spike ball in front of the library. He joins a group of jugglers on Martin's Way. He is bad at both of those things. No one cares. And now he is sitting in his first class, and he feels like an imposter. Sure, he was selected to be here from a very competitive pool. He must be good enough. But what if he's not? Then the class starts, and he realizes that no one is judging anybody else. No one's competing. Everyone is fully engaged. They're asking great questions. It's the most dynamic learning environment he's ever been in. And the imposter syndrome starts to fade. But there it is again when he walks into Commons for the first time. Terrifying. Why are there no trays? Where are the utensils? Is it true that I can eat pizza every single day? Who should I sit with? He chooses someone who's listening to music, and he asks, what are you listening to? And that becomes a bridge to a conversation, to a friendship. He meets more friends. He feels like he belongs. He reflects on that year. He can't imagine learning more, growing more, overcoming more doubt, building confidence. It turns out that know thyself is more than a college motto. Flash forward today. He's at graduation. So many moments, so many memories. He's worn a cap and gown before, but this somehow feels different. This feels, again, like part of something bigger. Maybe it's being part of the history of this place. Maybe it's overcoming all that adversity and the doubt and finally to reach this moment. Maybe it's the realization that so many other people, parents and friends and professors and staff and coaches, all made this possible. And that first-year student, me, stands on this stage right now. And he looks out at all of you, and I realize that I have fallen in love, that Hamilton has swept me up in its embrace, and I know my freshman year is familiar to so many of you, to all of you. You have all been on this journey. You have all fallen in love with each other, with this college, with this moment in your life on this hill. And maybe today feels so big because you're about to walk away from something that you love so much. You're about to say goodbye. But we don't call this the goodbye ceremony. This is commencement. You're beginning another chapter. And you're not walking away because all of us, your teachers, the staff that have supported you, your classmates, me, we are all walking with you because Hamilton is for life. Congratulations, graduates. Celebrate what you have done together. You are the Hamilton class of 2025. There will never be another. We love you. Congratulations. So at this point in the ceremony, it's customary for the president to single out for special recognition those who have helped our graduates reach this milestone. So I'm going to start by thanking the parents, grandparents, and other family members who have supported our class of 2025 over these years. Thank you for entrusting your students to us. It has been a special privilege to share their growth and their development over these last 4 years. So I'm going to ask our families and guests of our graduates to please stand, and I'm going to ask our graduates to give them the most cheer you can imagine because they deserve it. So families of our graduates, please stand. Friends. You're supposed to stand for the whole ceremony now. You just sat down. 8 distinguished members of the Hamilton faculty are retiring this year. Combined, they have dedicated more than 230 years of teaching and scholarship and service to this college. 3 of them are also parents of Hamilton graduates. You can read short biographies of them in your program. So this morning, I'm going to call out their names, ask them all to stand. And once they're all standing, I will ask you to join me in recognizing and appreciating their many years of service. Vivian Adair, Professor of Women's and Gender Studies. Catherine Duran, Associate Professor of Philosophy. John Hind, Professor of Physical Education and Director of Athletics. Jamie King, the Jerome Gottlieb 64 Fellow for Exemplary Coaching and Professor of Physical Education. Duran Larson, Edward North Chair of Greek and Greek Literature and Professor of Literature and Creative Writing. Perry Nizzi, Professor of Physical Education and Head Men's Soccer Coach. Vincent O'Dampton, the William R. Keenan Jr. Professor of Literature, and Steve Orvis, Professor of Government. Can we give them one more round of applause? I wish to also express our profound appreciation to the faculty and staff who have nurtured and challenged and mentored and supported you. These folks wake up every day with only one goal: to see you thrive, to see you advance, to see you succeed. So will our Hamilton faculty and staff please stand? Okay, I need our students, with all that cheer you still got in there, please recognize those that have helped you achieve this moment. Many other employees of the college have worked long and hard on the arrangements for today's ceremony. Some of them even got it to stop raining and for the sun to begin trying to peek out. So for those who have done so much for this day, I want to thank the offices of the deans and the president, audiovisual services, college events, advancement, communications and marketing, LITS, facility management, campus safety, and the registrar's office. Thank you. Thank all of you. I'm now pleased to introduce friend and co-chair of the Board of Trustees, Robert Delaney, class of 1979.
Thank you, President Tepper. Good morning, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I warmly welcome our esteemed faculty, honored guests, families, friends, and most of all, the graduates of the class of 2025. Today, as you transition from students to alumni, we celebrate not only just what you have achieved, but what lies ahead. Your accomplishments these past 4 years fill us with pride. You've developed and sharpened skills which will serve you a lifetime. At the same time, you've contributed your time and talent to making Hamilton a better place. You have built a foundation for a life of learning. Your commitment to curiosity, to growth, to understanding will enrich your personal and professional lives in ways you can only begin to imagine. Your friends, teachers, mentors, and coaches will miss seeing you on campus, but we know you will carry a part of Hamilton wherever you go. As you leave College Hill, you can expect to experience the warmth and embrace of the alumni body as you begin to establish your place in the world. I encourage you to stay connected to the college and with one another, for each of you is forever a member of the Hamilton family. No matter how far from Clinton your life takes you, Hamilton will always be with you. As you step into this next chapter, carry with you the values you've strengthened here: curiosity, integrity, resilience, and a deep respect for others. The world needs your insight, your creativity, your courage. Congratulations, class of 2025. We can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of Faculty, Ngoni Munemo.
Good morning. We could do better than that. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. On behalf of the faculty, a distinguished group of more than 200 teacher scholars who have prepared our students for this special moment, I welcome everybody to this wonderful occasion, especially the graduates seated in front of me. My faculty colleagues and I take enormous pride in all your achievements and contributions these past 4 years. Your ideas, passions, interests, and curiosities have enriched our classrooms, laboratories, studios, performance spaces, and fields. Now go out and enrich the communities where you have chosen or that have chosen you to do your life's work. You are well prepared to lead the lives for which we have prepared you, lives of meaning, purpose, and active citizenship. I want to join President Tepper and Mr. Delaney in acknowledging all those who have played a part in the accomplishments of our graduates, including parents, extended families, siblings, grandparents, friends, neighbors, and all those who have contributed to our students' journey to this day. Just last week, I sat where you are seated as I watched my son graduate from college. So from someone who's still riding the high of that experience, I ask that we have another round of applause for our family and friends. I now ask the James Soper-Merrill Prize recipient, Delbert Diaz-Gonzalez, to join me on stage. The James Soper Prize, established in memory of James Soper by his cousin, James P. Soper, class of 1911, is awarded at commencement to that member of the graduating class who, in character and influence, has best typified the highest ideals of the college. Selected by the faculty, the recipient is presented with a gold watch. Dell is a theater major from Lafayette, Louisiana, who is part of the Hamilton Scholars Program. He is a member of Yodapes, the Buffers, United at Large, and has worked in the Oral Communication Center as a community advisor and as a tutor in the Clinton Middle School. He's also skilled in martial arts and maintains his Taekwondo black belt and Hapkido yellow belt practices. I know who to turn to, I guess. Associate Professor of Literature Stephanie Barr described Dell as an outstanding scholar, mentor, advocate, and community member who brings out the best in all those around him and places others before him. She said Dell approached a Shakespeare and film course with emotional maturity and intellectual curiosity and showed an ability to think with nuance and compassion, and his willingness to do so was a model for his classmates. Though he quickly became one of the most sophisticated seminar participants, she added, Dell never showed off. Instead, he would draw shy students into the conversation and even made a point of engaging their contribution and crediting them by name. I have sometimes had to ask my stronger students to do this. Dell did it naturally by instinct. This speaks to his emotional sensitivity and commitment to building an inclusive community, something that is at the heart of his character. The following year, Dell worked as a mentor for the Shakespeare and film course. Students in that class described him as an incredible support, one of the most generous people I've ever met at Hamilton, always willing to help others, and amazingly insightful. Assistant Professor of Theater Emily Harrison says Dell tackles each and every class and project assignment with curiosity and generosity and truly wants to learn as much as he possibly can. He is tireless in his pursuit of knowledge and experience, and his energy is infectious. He's an excellent writer academically and is unfailingly able to synthesize the readings, course activities, and writings in ways that are nuanced and indicative of a deep and abiding ability and desire to think critically. Also, an astonishingly skilled actor and director, Dell was the first Hamilton student in more than a decade accepted by the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, which is an incredibly competitive training program. Its alumni include such luminaries as Kenneth Branagh, Emma Thompson, Judi Dench, and Derek Jacobi. Professor Barr said, "In all my years at Hamilton, I've never met a student so richly deserving of this award. It is a privilege to know him." Professor Harrison added, Dell consistently chooses to pursue work that can have an impact on the larger community, work that speaks to our humanity, to our diverse experiences, to what it means to be alive in this very moment. I cannot think of a more deserving student for this prestigious award. Please join me in congratulating the 2025 recipient of the James Soper Prize, Dell Gonzalez.
Thank you for that very kind introduction. I'm very honored to be the recipient of such a prestigious award, and at first I really couldn't believe it. On Class and Charter Day, when they were announcing the awards, the recipient of the award before the Soper Merrill, the Phileas Drown Prize, was selected because he helped discover a planet. A whole planet. Shout out to Isa Khan. . When Dean Munemo went on to introduce the winner of the Soper Merrill, I thought I had no shot. I mean, the only thing I've discovered in the past 4 years is how to awkwardly wave at people on Martin's Way. It's just like this. So, Dean Munemo says, this year's winner is Dell. If you were there, you may recall my face looks something like this. I was completely in disbelief. But disbelief isn't new for me. When I was admitted into Hamilton, I felt the same way. I attended a public school in Louisiana where the state education was ranked 49th out of 50th in the nation at the time. All right. I didn't grow up thinking I'd end up at a small liberal arts college in upstate New York. I thought I'd go to a state school where football is the main focus and no one has ever heard of an Adirondack chair. So, when I opened my Hamilton acceptance letter and saw confetti, I was stunned. Because I didn't believe I could get in. But that confetti meant someone did. When I got here, though, that disbelief came back. I was convinced I had somehow tricked admissions. Maybe they just like how my name rolls off the tongue. Delbert Gonzalez. No, that can't be it. So, to make myself believe I belonged, I threw myself into everything. At any given moment, I was in 2 to 3 clubs, working 2 to 3 jobs, balancing classes, attending rehearsals, and whatever else I could fit in. And I know I wasn't alone. Parents, professors, ask a student if you can see their Google Calendar, and I promise you, there's so many colored blocks, you think you're about to lose in a game of Tetris. We all stretched ourselves thin, and yet somehow we still showed up to each other's games, presentations, and performances. Especially if there was free food. Free food. Somewhere along the way, that need to prove myself, that disbelief, shifted into a sense of belonging. And that's because of this community. Although we have different majors and interests and have been on different teams and sports and clubs, I think we can all say that we are each graduating with a major in community. In a clown workshop I attended, the instructor called it communal effervescence. It's this shared feeling of energy and excitement when people come together for the same purpose. Like right now, you watching this speech. Or over the course of these 4 years, with each of us here with the common goal of learning and supporting each other. And that feeling of coming together has never felt more real than it has in these past few days. Through grief, we've shown up for each other. Not just in the easy moments, but in the hard ones too. And that kind of care doesn't just show up in grand gestures. It's a professor pulling you aside after class just to say, you've got something. It's a friend saying you were amazing after a performance. It's a simple text asking, how are you? Sometimes it takes a community of people believing in you, even when you don't, for you to believe in yourself. We talk a lot about Hamilton's resources, but the real resource isn't that $1 billion endowment. It's the people, the friends, mentors, staff, and family. So if you're ever in doubt, like I was, if you ever do forget that you do belong, I hope you hear the voices of the people that believed in you when you were here, Because out in the real world, it will matter that we uplift each other, that we stay connected, that we don't just believe in ourselves, we believe in each other. So, to the people who believed in me, Dr. Stephanie Barr, Aaron Ray, Dr. Amy Gaffney, Mark Cryer, Dr. Emily K. Harrison, and the entire theater department, and of course, all of you, thank you. And if you're still in disbelief today, let's believe this much. What we've done here matters. We've grown, we've changed, and we made a difference. Congratulations, class of 2025. Believe it, we did it.
Thank you, Del. We turn now to the top awards for academic achievement. The awards of salutatorian and valedictorian are made to the students with the second and first highest grade point averages, respectively. I ask the class of 2025 salutatorian, Catherine Withers, to stand. A sociology major with minors in American Studies and creative writing, Kat Withers is from Arlington, Virginia. Her advisor, Associate Professor of Sociology, Matt Grace, thought so highly of Kat's intellect, leadership, and work ethic that he asked her to serve as a teaching assistant for his research methods class. He said her work with students was emblematic of her preternatural ability to effectively teach others and provide the type of constructive feedback that pushes them to be the very best versions of themselves. Her swim coach, John Geisinger, said Kat looks at problems from all angles to find the best solution. Her performance in the classroom is not unlike her performance in the water, a result of her excellent process. Kat plans to pursue a master's degree in exercise and sports studies at Smith College, where she will also serve as an assistant for the swim team. Congratulations to Kat Withers. The class of 2025 valedictorian is Claire Stephen Williams. Claire, please stand. A geosciences major from LaGrange Highlands, Illinois, with a minor in environmental studies. Assistant Professor of Geosciences Nick Roberts says Claire is one of the most driven, capable students I've ever had the pleasure to work with. She has a rare combination of a quick intellect, an incredible ability to introspect and identify what she does not fully understand, the precision in thinking required to masterfully articulate questions, and a work ethic that allows her to take advantage of all those strengths. In class, these characteristics are borne out in a student who is deeply engaged, focused, and curious. Professor Roberts said that, as a researcher, Claire insists on understanding and holds herself to the highest standards. Professor Kat Beck describes Claire as being relentless in her pursuit of knowledge and exploring questions and problems from multiple angles. Claire also worked as an intern in the communications office. Her supervisor, Holly Foster, described her as dependable, responsible, smart, and respectful to everyone she interviews. After leaving Hamilton, Claire will begin working as a physical science technician, field assistant for the United States Geological Survey. She will be based in Denver, but doing work in other areas to help assess geoelectric storm hazards. Let's congratulate the valedictorian of the class of 2025, Claire Stevens Williams. Please be seated.
Congratulations to our Soper Merrill Prize recipient and to our valedictorian and salutatorian and to their families. I now would like to invite Allie Ennis to come forward. This year's class speaker was nominated by her peers and selected by a committee of faculty members and her classmates. Allie Ennis is from New York City. She majored in mathematics and sociology. She was a head tutor at the Quantitative and Symbolic Reasoning Center. She's been an Adirondack Adventure Orientation Leader, courageous, a senior fellow for the Community Outreach and Opportunity Program, caring, a tour guide, a co-chair of the senior class gift, generous, an intramural basketball player, competitive. Her special aptitude is riding unicycles. Fill in the parentheses. Please join me in welcoming class speaker Allie Ennis.
Thank you, President Tepper, for the introduction. And good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. First of all, I'm sorry my voice is a little hoarse. It's been a long week. I'm very grateful to my parents and my family, to all my mentors and professors, especially Professor Kantrowitz in the math department, who let me practice this speech for him many times. And of course, to the people who made these 4 years what they were, my peers, the class of 2025. I am sincerely honored to be our class-elected speaker. I want to dedicate my remarks today to all of you and to our classmate Rashik. We miss him dearly, and his memory is in the room with us. My Hamilton story began when I was in high school, visiting campus with my family on a bitterly cold Clinton morning. Walking down Martin's Way, I begged my parents not to take pictures or flag down students to ask about nightlife. They took pictures, and they flagged down students to ask about nightlife. Despite my teenage self-consciousness, I noticed a student had stopped at the door of KJ, holding it open for us. We hadn't even reached the stairs, yet there he was, waiting. It was a little awkward as we jogged to relieve him, but soon enough, other students did the same. At KTSA, at the library, at Commons, there was a pervasive, intentional kindness. Fast forward to senior year, back on Martin's Way, I was asked by someone new on campus what makes Hamilton so special. What makes Hamilton, Hamilton? This is a place where people hold doors for one another, literally and metaphorically. I know it may seem like a small thing, but what are you saying when you hold a door for someone? I see you. You go first. Come with me. And those are not such small things. I can't count the doors that have been held open for me on this campus. Friends and roommates willing to talk late into the night after a great day or a hard one. There was my first-year orientation leader who encouraged me, a kid from Manhattan, to become a leader myself, something I might otherwise not have considered, given I had never slept in a tent before college. I also came to Hamilton thinking I was done with math because I wasn't particularly good at it, until freshman year calculus, when Professor Coburn pulled me into her office and said, "You should stick with this." She held a door open because she saw me in a way I hadn't seen myself. Now I'm graduating as a math major, and I've had some of my most meaningful experiences tutoring math in our QSR center, helping others find confidence just as I was helped. I asked our class about their favorite moments at Hamilton, stories of bonding and doors held open. The list is long, from 10-way high fives at the men's hockey championship, to unexpected friendship in the geoscience department, to pure euphoria on our 2 snow days earlier this year. We showed up for each other in every thesis presentation, every concert at Welland Hall, every handshake line after an intramural basketball game. In every senior pub, empowering one another to nail the karaoke song of our choice. In my case, it was You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. Perhaps that's one door that should have stayed closed. We even have a senior class group me. Parents, if you're confused, it's like a giant group text. In small moments and big, the class of 2025 has held the door open for one another, and we've been brave enough to run through it. Our class came to Hamilton in the wake of extended isolation. We do not take community for granted. And what's more, we know our community is not perfect. We've spent 4 years rebuilding the things that matter to us and trying to make them better. Peers shared stories with me about reinventing team culture to promote healthy competition for athletes. We've worked to make Greek life something that is intrinsically exclusive, more inclusive, tackling conversations around historical inequities and asking ourselves what legacy we want to leave. As a class, we've packed every roundtable discussion and speaker series, learning how to create meaningful relationships beyond the classroom with people we don't see eye to eye with. Because we know that standing behind a closed door, though it might be easier, doesn't lead anywhere. As pretty much the whole planet seems to know by now, President Obama was here last month. He spoke about the value of a liberal arts education and the importance of thinking critically and for ourselves. A recent Gallup poll found that 80%, a record high, of adults feel that the country is greatly divided on core values. That is the world we are graduating into. But rather than be afraid, let's be confident in how prepared we are. It is our privilege and our obligation to keep practicing what we learned here, to say with and without words, I see you, you go first, come with me. I'll close with 2 thoughts. 1, can we please keep that senior group me going? Any stragglers who haven't joined yet, see me after, I'll add you. And finally, today, as we leave the hill and enter the exciting, messy world that waits for us, let's remember to hold the door open, because that is who we are. Thank you.
Since Allie brought up the 2 days that we closed college for snow, which I think are the first time in the history of this college, I want to set the record straight that this Arizona president did not make that decision. Okay, we are honored today by the presence of 2 individuals who share a passion for innovation. We want to recognize them with the conferral of honorary degrees. The first is our neighbor, an entrepreneur, a leader whose links to this college and this land on which we sit date back more than 230 years. The second is a world-famous designer known for linking design with social change and impact. I call upon Gregory Hoopkamp, a charter trustee, to present our first candidate for honorary degree.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Arthur Raymond Halbritter for a Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. The bonds between the The bonds between this college and the United Indian Nation stretch back more than 7 generations to the years following the American Revolutionary War, when the Oneidas sided with the colonists and became America's first allies. It was a time when the Reverend Samuel Kirkland provided pastoral services to the Oneidas. He developed a close friendship with Oneida Chief Shenandoah that led ultimately to the establishment of the Hamilton Oneida Academy in 1793, on the ancestral land of the Oneida people that had been gifted to him. Motivated by family tragedy and the need to fight systemic oppression of the Native people, you turned to education, enrolling at Syracuse University and subsequently earning a degree from Harvard Law School. You then returned to Central New York to build what has been called a model for sustainable, diversified, and self-sufficient economic development. Education is the driving force of your work as the representative of the Oneida Indian Nation and the chief executive officer of its enterprises. Using the resources generated by the Oneida's diverse and thriving businesses, you have invested wisely in the educational and cultural programming, language preservation instruction, and institutions that both protect and enhance the Oneida's heritage. These include healthcare facilities, housing for Oneida members, and a beautiful community center on nation land, as well as an endowed professorship in American Indian law at Harvard University, and support for the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of American Indian and the Museum of American Revolution. Your ancestors would be proud, for you have followed the ancient Haudenosaunee show philosophy that decisions we make today should result in sustainable world 7 generations in the future. Today, we honor you for your successful efforts to enrich and enhance the current and future generations of the Oneida Indian Nation, your commitment to education, and for helping to reinvigorate the partnership first established by Samuel Kirkland and Chief Shenandoah.
Ray Halbritter, acting on the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer on you the degree of Doctor of Laws of Hamilton College, admitting you to all of its rights, its privileges, in token whereof we present you with this diploma and invest you with this hood. I now call upon Chester Sweda, Life Trustee, to present our second candidate for an honorary degree.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Bruce Douglas Mao for a Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. A designer by trade, you have used your creativity to ask big questions and pursue bold ideas that drive human thriving. Danish architect Bjarke Ingels said, "You have expanded the notion of what design is and expanded the potential scale of impact. The result is life-centered design." That, according to one description of your work, offers a clear path toward identifying the full context of our problems and developing innovative, sustainable, and holistic solutions. Indeed, you see the task of designers being less to inform people than to move them. Our role, you have said, is to inspire. In an incomplete manifesto for growth, published in 1998, you sought to answer the question, how does one sustain a creative life? You emphasized the power of being open to chance and serendipity, the need to suspend judgment and explore productive adjacencies, the value of embracing process over outcomes, and the habits of deep and intentional listening and observation. You followed up the incomplete manifesto with Massive Change, a modern illustrated primer on the new inventions, technologies, and events that are affecting the human race worldwide. Massive Change is also the name for your 2004 groundbreaking design exhibition, which, instead of being about the world of design, you said, it's about the design of the world. And the Massive Change Network is the global design consultancy in Chicago, for which you serve as co-founder and chief executive officer. More recently, your work and life story are the subject of the feature-length documentary, Mao, which premiered at South by Southwest in 2021 and has brought design into the cultural spotlight. Today, as we send forth our graduates to lead lives of meaning, purpose, and active citizenship, we honor you for your ability to think big, tackle real problems, and see design as a way to solve the world's most vexing challenges.
Bruce Mao, acting on the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters of Hamilton College, admitting you to all of its rights and privileges, in token whereof we present you with this diploma and invest you with this hood. As you just heard, our speaker this morning is a groundbreaking designer, empathic problem solver, creative and optimistic futurist, an educator, an author, and an artist. He is co-founder with his wife, B.C. Williams, and chief executive officer of Massive Change Network, a global design consultancy based in Chicago. In the 2022 documentary, Mao, about our speaker's life and career, colleagues called him powerful, brilliant, creative, visionary, optimistic, ingenious. Sounds like what we will call all of you as liberal arts graduates. A New York Times review of the film described the message he delivers: whenever the opportunity presents itself, everything is design, everyone is a designer, and design can produce positive change at all scales. Our speaker has been described as a designer with a taste for solving big picture problems, and his clients have included international corporations such as Coca-Cola and even small nation states such as Guatemala, which asked him to redesign and rebrand the country because decades of civil war had destroyed its citizens' belief in their future. I have had the good fortune to know our speaker well. He describes the primary role of a designer is to inspire first. And I know he will inspire us today. He is quite simply a superstar who believes in the power of creativity for massive social change. Please join me in welcoming Hamilton College's 2025 commencement speaker, Bruce Mao.
Thank you, President Tepper, members of the Hamilton College leadership, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, proud families and friends, and most importantly, the reason we are all here today, the 2025 graduating class of Hamilton College. Congratulations to you on getting to the starting line. I know you think it's over, but your learning has only just begun. It is a profound honor to stand before you today. However, more than honored, I am thrilled. This is what a Canadian looks like when they're thrilled. You see, I grew up on a farm outside of a mining town in northern Canada, about 6 hours north of Toronto. We lived on the last farm on a winding road into the Canadian wilderness, with hundreds of miles of boreal forest beyond our home. Our house was built on a rocky hill, and as a consequence, we didn't have running water in the winter months. My job as a young man was to drive my snowmobile down to the well in the valley every morning and provide water for a family of 7. For a long time, I was embarrassed by our poverty and way of life. I couldn't see how it was relevant in any way to the life I was imagining. Eventually, I realized that I share my experience with over 1 billion people who don't have access to safe running water. I know what water weighs. I know what it takes to provide water for a family. I never take water for granted. Every day, I turn on the tap, and beautiful, clear, water, safe water comes out, and it's an awesome start to the day. While still on the farm, I saw the outside world on a small black and white television set. We had 2 channels, French and English. When Expo 67 happened in Montreal, I saw the work of Buckminster Fuller. He designed the American Pavilion as a massive geodesic dome that had a monorail that passed straight through it. It was magical. I wanted to be part of that emerging world. So I changed my focus from science and math to art. I was the chemistry technician in art school. I had a job in the chemistry lab. But I changed to art. I had no idea about design. I'd never heard the word. But I couldn't get into art school. I had taken only the minimum of art classes. So I had to stay an extra year in high school and go to another town. I met a teacher that changed my life, Mr. Smith, who ran a program called Special Art. It was the best year of my life. My first time leaving the farm to visit a city was for my college interview. Mr. Smith prepared me, and I got in. But I failed. I lasted only a year and a half. I just couldn't fit into their way of being. So for most of my life, I thought that I had failed college. Not surprisingly, because they told me in explicit terms that I had failed. They were quite clear and explicit about that. But recently, I realized that I hadn't failed. I did what college was supposed to do. I just did it quickly. I blew my mind. I had never experienced anything like art college and city life. I fell in love with the magic of words and images, the idea of putting those together to make new things. I learned a new language. In my case, that was graphic design. And I got a job doing what I had fallen in love with. I became a designer. Most people take 4 years or more to do that. I did it in 18 months. So you can imagine being here today, addressing graduates from this esteemed, extraordinary institution that we've had a couple of days visiting. It's just been an absolute wonder. With only some college, as they say on online surveys, is truly thrilling. When I became a designer without realizing, I set out on a lifelong adventure of learning. I've worked with some of the greatest artists, writers, architects, philosophers, innovators, educators, and world leaders of every sort. I consider myself one of the most fortunate designers of the last half-century. I can't imagine a better life. I designed the fan experience for the New York Jets and Giants' new NFL stadium. I worked with architect Frank Gehry on the Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles. And together we designed the world's first museum of biodiversity in Panama City. I designed a social movement, as President Tepper said, in Guatemala to recover the ability to dream for a population that had suffered 36 years of civil war. And I designed a 1,000-year plan for the future of Mecca, the spiritual home of Islam in Saudi Arabia. In a stroke of genius, I married a brilliant woman named B.C. Williams, and we had 3 amazing daughters. It was B.C. that encouraged me to become a writer, to clarify and publish my ideas beyond the projects that I was designing. B.C. and I worked together to develop a new approach that we called life-centered design. Life-centered design begins with compassion for the individual human, the user, like human-centered design. But it doesn't stop there. We extend our compassion to their social context, their family, their group, their business or institution, and from there to the ecosystem that sustains them. We cannot have a thriving citizen in a toxic ecology. We have only just begun to see the impact of this work, and we are still on that awesome learning adventure together. Now, if you had met me down at the well on some crisp, cold Canadian winter morning and said, "Bruce, pay attention, because you're going to have to design Mecca someday," I would have said, "I don't think so. Not very likely." But that is what happened. And I went on to design the plan for a post-oil economy innovation city in a linear model that predated the line by over a decade. This long life learning journey, sometimes directed, sometimes unexpected, is a testament to the idea that remarkable things happen, often in ways we didn't initially imagine, if we remain optimistic and open. In preparation for today, I had a wonderful opportunity to spend some time with several Hamilton graduating students. They were deeply impressive, thoughtful, ambitious. You could see they held the door open. They were compassionate and profoundly optimistic. They shared their deep gratitude for their experience here, but also their concern about the world outside of what they called the bubble here at Hamilton. They were fully aware that they are graduating from this utopian ideal into one of the most volatile and challenging environments that has ever existed. And they were excited by that. They were fully charged to lean into the potential that they have developed here, and looking forward to the tests that will come as the world transforms around them. I was deeply inspired. I want to thank them for restoring my faith in humanity. Now, any commencement speaker worth their salt will tell you that the world needs you. But I'm here to tell you that you need the world. You need the commons. You need the collective potential in all of us. You need the hard-won freedoms and institutions that you will build on. You need the ecosystems that sustain us and the social connections that give meaning to life. You need the radical possibilities for purpose and impact in the complex, urgent, and sometimes dire opportunities that you will be called to address. Don't think of them as challenges. They are entrepreneurial opportunities. You will live through a scale of change that has never happened in human history. Just consider the combination of quantum and AI technologies and the radical potential that exists for you and your peers. It is the biggest opportunity that could ever be imagined. Your ability to design, to think critically, to see potential, to connect the dots that others can't, to communicate with nuance and compassion, and to inspire, all the skills of a Hamilton education, will be critically important in the global transformation that you will guide and lead. Those opportunities will open up for you, but only if you are open for them. Only if you sustain the wild optimism that is the first responsibility of any designer. Designers cannot afford the luxury of cynicism. You cannot afford the luxury of cynicism. That is for others. Cynicism is easy. Optimism is hard. You are a designer or you wouldn't be here. You have a future in mind. You have intention. And the moment you have intention, the moment you will not accept random outcomes, the moment you have a vision, an idea, a destination, an outcome in mind, you become a designer. So lean into your power, your capacity to envision the future, and systematically realize that vision, and you will tap into the full gift of the Hamilton experience. Many people, when they hear the word design, think of beautiful object, sleek cars, or expensive furniture. The shape of things, something visual and formal. And yes, design can be that. But that's what we call small d design. What you are capable of is big D design. Design is not just about making things. It's about making things happen. Design is the mindset of optimism in action. In its broadest sense, design is leadership, and that's what you've been prepared for. As design leaders, we don't always have the authority to force change, but we always have the power to inspire it. With what you've experienced here at Hamilton, you have the power to show people a future more exciting than their past and inspire them to work together on the journey to a new world. Alice Waters has said that the most common way that people give up their power is to not realize that they have it. You are the most powerful generation in the history of mankind. I look forward to seeing your dreams come true. So go forth, fail, learn, fail again, learn more, and succeed. Be wild, thorny, and optimistic. Design your world for the welfare of all of life. Thank you, and congratulations to the Hamilton College Class of 2025.
Will the Hamilton College class of 2025 please rise? President Tepper, the Hamilton College faculty, an incredible and distinguished group of teachers, scholars, advisors, and mentors, attest that the individuals before us have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. I will now invite each member of the class to come forward to accept your congratulations on behalf of the college community and to receive their senior cane as a reminder of their Hamilton experience and as a token of the college's affection. Diplomas will be mailed to each graduating senior in the coming weeks. Please be seated. Before we commence with the proclamation of the names of each of our graduates, I wish to say a few words about commencement protocol. The college photographer will capture a visual record, also known as a picture, of the moment each graduate crosses the stage and receives congratulations from the president, and these photographs will be available to our graduates and their families in the coming weeks. So for that reason, we ask that those present remain in their seats. Second, if you're able and so inclined, please hold your applause and other expressions of joy and perhaps relief until the last student's name is called, so that each student's name can be heard by their families here and online and not drowned out by the cheers of the person who preceded them. Names will be read by members of the faculty and staff. Students with surnames beginning with A through K will process from one side. We will then change sides, beginning with the letter L. Ushers will direct graduates to the stage when it is time to receive their canes. Now, and this is the part I can't wait for at the beginning of each year, let us begin. Will the first row please stand?
Somebody get a signal me? All right. Ahmed Abdelrahim. Mirka Aguilar Montaño. Audrey Elizabeth Alex. Hunter Wood Allen. Vaughn Scott Amos. Samuel Anavin. Naomi Maureen Andrew. Hannah Ann Apsey. Mark William Apsey. Rachel Jade Araujo. Charles Clive Archer. Julian Wolf Arkey. Reagan Patrick Arnold. Robert Isaac Aronson. Robert David Asel. Anushka Ashwin. Dean Atasi. Alexandra Marie Bailey. Eleanor Augusta Bailey. Sade Ball. Omar Bargut. Lara Daniela Barrera. Gaisca Barondo Cherinier. Lane Parker Barsh. Taylor Bartels. Madeline Elise Bartlett. Chinhuslin Botbayer. Adira Botley. Eliza Page Berkey. Sarah Ben Abdallah. Annika Rachel Ben. Emily May Bennett. Allison Oskali Berkowitz. Abigail Bernardo. Catherine Grace Belinsky. Gabriel Nicholas Bitt Babick. Clifton Delaney Bloom. Henry Jonas Bohm. Madeline Hyde Boger. Christophe Boivin. Roland Clayton Bouma IV. Zachary Vincent Ravi Booth. Grant Bowley. Maximo Peppercorn Broder. Andrew James Brennan. Zoe Honor Brett. Carl Jacobs Brinkman. Fiona Catherine Bristol. Amelia Berkeley Brown. Georgia Elizabeth Hofer Brown. Ryan Thomas Brown. Amanda Margaret Brown. Maeve Rose Brown. Cecily Elizabeth Bua. Rachel Budd. Matthew Bunetta. Tate Kincaid Bergen. Eileen Bazier.
Joseph Christopher Cairns. Jessica Composano. John Ryan Carbone. Kyle David Carbone. Isa Sofia Cardoso. Elizabeth Ann Carnwright. Megan Adelaide Case. Kevin Mingyan Michael Kavikia. Maya Chaikin. Carter Joseph Chambers. Santiago Chamorro. Jordan Christopher Chen. Caroline Marshall Chapman. Sadie Chase Tatko. Bei Bei Chen. Irina Chen. Oh, Frank Chung. Jeffrey Chang. Mia Ivanova Chervenkova. Young Scarlett Chi. Maria Elizabeth Chipres Urueta. Daniel Junsong Cho. William J. Young Cho. Andrew Robert Cronus. Shannon Kate Cicero. Austin Cipriano. Charlotte Joy Clark. Anya Josephine Cleary. Nathan Eli Cohen. Christian Colantonio. Tessa Noel Cole. Tia Monet Cole. Timothy Michael College. Matthew Lonzak Collins. Nicole Tatiana Conlog. Ethan Edward Connolly. Ryan Patrick Connors. Asha Mead Cook. Gabriela Elizabeth Crawford. Maria Cristina Crespo Freire. Charlotte Bray Croft. Viola Cordelia Q.
Leslie Ariana de la Rosa. Charles Jacob Dale. Shraddha Datta. Aganim Delbeeva. Harrison Gabriella Davis. Kayla Maribel Davis. Robert Blake Davis. Virginia Lee Davis. Abigail Rose Delana. Sarah Beth DeSanto. Umu Kari Diallo. Bailey Anna Dickinson. Elena Catherine Dickinson. Patrick J. Dykus. Emma Rose DiGiacomo. Owen Holland Dimmick. Calvin Philip Doherty. Hannah Dolan. John Wells Donahue. Heather Grace Doyle. Marissa Duffy. Jamie R. Duncan. Deanna Leon Durbin. Owen Robert Jergowski. Luke Wishart Ehrenfreund. Luke Michael Engel. Alexandra Holden Ennis. Sydney Ellen Erickson. Angela Sarai Escalante Zarco. Stella Elizabeth Essenmacher. Eva Malay Evans. Sydney Marie Evans. Sydney Paige Famillo. Michael Thomas Fasano Jr. Sabina Pearl Fetter. Jaden Micah Hines Federoff. Alexandria Marie Fiesel. Joshua Eric Feller. Sarah Jordan Fisher. Emmanuel Fitzum. Rex Walker Flynn. Madeline Foss. Kaylee Elisira Franco. Hadrian Edward Fredicangeli. Andrew George Fredericks. Jack Quinn Freed. Caroline Sheridan Friedrichs. Edward Leopold Gamble. Sophie Francis Gamble. Sean Gebauer. Matthew Patrick Gellerman. Favor Chiameka Georgikichi. Tilly Iris Germain. Anais Shari Geronimo. Kritika Guimere.
Sebastian Ghosh. Jennifer Lynn Jiddison. Adelaide Lucia Gifford. Eliza Mulholland Glass. Samantha Casper Glickman. Alexandra Bell Glogoff. Christos Godis. Spencer Mark Goldberg. Delbert Diaz Gonzalez. Madison Sarah Goodman Leong. Maya Elizabeth Goswami. Delaney Catherine Grace. Tegan Paige Jillian Graham. Connor Riley Grand. Caroline Elizabeth Grant. Phoebe Elizabeth Marie Gray. Nicole Ryan Greenberg. Miranda Gregory. Connor Coakley Griff. Nicholas Liam Gritz. Lauren Elaine Grohl. Paige Alyssa Grondin. Elizabeth Evans Gross. Liliana Gross. Maya Ann Gustafson. Natalie Schoen Gutterman. Edward Ha. Charles Allen Haberstock. Andrew Jewett Haddon. Abigail Cynthia Hagan. Genevieve Helena Halfman. Autumn Elizabeth Haypenny. Lila Willows Hamill. Lauren Hanna. Robert Joshua Harmon Jr. Melina Ross Haskell. Grigory Valerovich Gudovets. Charles Hawthorne. Luke W. Hayes. Brian Murphy Healy. Gabriella Karen Heftved. William Garrett Hare. Aidan Martin Held. Jacob Cole Helsner. Alexandra Marie Hare. Ty Finley Hoy. Nicholas Stephen Hoff. Carter Astrin Hollins. Faith Elizabeth Hollier. Kristen Alexa Holness. Hunter Avery Hoagkamp. Anna Carol Hoover. Madison Elizabeth Hopkins. Mia Frances Tompkins Horvath. Ryan Peter Howard. Katya Emily Huzow. David Thomas Hines.
Benjamin Ingram. Diego E. Nzunza. Allison Brooke Isco. Lisa Ito Bagshaw. Catherine M. Ivan. Iris Catherine Isadorchek. Charlie Elizabeth James. Leila Camille Jahari. Alexandra Marion Jeffrey. Bryna May Jacogian. Jane Jong. Wilson Jang. Jin Boyo. Gabrielle Rosemary Johnson. Grace Marie Johnson. Corinna Lynn Jones. Frank Barton Marshall Jones. Peter Cronin Jones. Alexandra Elizabeth Joseph. Jade Elizabeth Dong Fong Joyce. Hannah Ju. Gabrielle Kagwa. Alexander Peter Kalaputis. Owen Daly Kane. Henrik Christoph Kanya. Maya Devi Cannon. Thomas Thayer Kantowitz. Eve Susanna Karmozin. Willa Day Carr. Sophia Francesca Katz. Akai Ahmed Kaya. Lyden Elizabeth Kelly. Emma Kirkman. Prabin Kadaka. Zaman Akbar Khan. Alexander Kim. Desemi Kim. Julian Kimball. Madison White Kinney. Lena Klink. Max Jeffrey Clivens. Michael Byungmin Ko. Esther Unbin Ku. Adam Koplik. Gregory Anthony Kopp. Gainsley Marie Korengold. Catherine Krebs. Sawyer Isaac Crone. Alexandra Lydia Kropanova. Joseph William Kubasik. Addison May Kajowski.
Benjamin Hinchliff LeBranche. Christy Caitlin Lam Chung. Jake Anthony Lamalva. Michael Sean Laporte. Naval Singh Lapalainen. Karenna Grace Loffer. Valerie Marie Lorianti. Sasha Law Gisico. Philip Lee. Simon K. Lay. Esme Streeper Leach. Maxwell Andrew Lee. Spencer Thomas Lee. Beatrice Odile Lefranc. Bruce Barkin Light. Caitlin Leone. Ella Lapine. Alexander Theodore Levine. David Solomon Levine. Scott Michael Levy. Norbu Hindup. David Tianchun Lee. Eric Juming Lee. Hannah Marguerite Lipskar. Daniel Julianne Lipson. Marcos Marinus Lissarag. Angie Chin Liu. Abigail Rose Lonergan. Abigail Hope Lauder. Zachary Arthur Lucchini. Owen Michael Luft. Kevin James Lyons. Alia Grace MacDonald. Maya Ashley Muchek. Jacob Hunter Mayer. Tinashe Dylan Mungua. Pandelis Demetrios Margaronis. William David Marin. Margaret Adia Marks. Nestor Luis Martinez. Abby Elizabeth Marzek. Avery Bruce Mason. Maheen Masood. Ingrid Shulan Mast. Andreas Joseph Mateka. Catherine Rose Carlin Mathis.
Luca Nicholas Gorman McAdams. Christian Hawk McCain. Neve Marie McDade Clay. Riley McGovern. Mia Claire McRuth. Ethan Westcott McKillop. Paige Abigail McKenzie. Erica Lorena Mendez. Giovanni Mendoza Olivas. Edwin Mensa Boateng. Alexander Sokolov Merkwitz. Juliet Bolton Michaels. Tegan Quinn Michelson. Maggie Michkowski. Kyle Hopkins Miller. Elise Gina Mizrak. Blake Vincent Molnari. Andreas Christopher Molnar. Bryce Oliver Molnar. Mirali Morales Tula. Henry Morgan. Matthew Henry Jensen Morgan. Abigail Virginia Morin.
Caitlin Cassidy Moses. Simon Harold Mueller. Rebecca Sofia Munoz. Gabriela Munoz Rojas. Isabella Catherine Nadal. Selvi A. Janatian Najarian. Gabrielle Natalie Nakab. Rachel Navajo Santos Lyon. William No. Zoe Elizabeth Neely. Kiara Nelson. Jonathan Frank Nimitz. Michael Na. Brandon Ingu. Max Andrew Nodif. Hadley Elizabeth Nonen. Emma Grace Nordquist. Cecilia Marie Nori. Ainsley Amanda Novak.
Elizabeth Matheson Oaks. Ona Opemipo Praise Obalanle. Isabella Michaela Okava. Haley Alexandra O'Donnell. Lucas Jameson O'Dowd. Megan Honey O. Paige Satyanana O'Hara. Sten Ludwig Orstrom. Lucinda Vickery Olson. Timothy Stephen O'Neill. Alexandra Molly Orlando. Zachary Freeman Orluck. Wendy Ortega Quesada. Alexis Ortiz. Catherine J. O'Shea. Devin Pachan Uthavong. Brianna Nicole Padilla. Dean Edward Pallas. Rachel Butterjulie. Grace Park. David Scott Parker. Nathaniel Parker. Lucy Elizabeth Patterson. Okay. Justin Henry Pearl. Eva Simone Perlman. Luke James Peplowski. Lucas Andre Perez Signini. Quinn Alexander Perkins. Becca Elizabeth Perry. Timothy Ward Peters III. Anna Strawbridge Peterson. Kirk Geronimo Petrie. Madeline Claire Petro. Morgan Grace Petty. Samuel Thomas Pettengill. Thuy Pham. Trung Quinn Pham. James Nicholas Philpott. Carlos Daniel Pichardo. Rosalind Janisa Pineda. Sophira Athena Pohl. Troy Adam Pollock. Shayna Elizabeth Polsky. Charles Portaviejo, Jay Pratt, Stephanie Deberu Pratt, Elizabeth Ann Price, Fanchi Felix Poole, Charlotte Quinn,
Ryan Rahman, Megan Rye, Isabel Ramos, Jackson Racias, Aaron Rayhill, Bailey Elizabeth Reese, Zara Raymond, Olivia Rendon Pablo, Anna Richardson, Whitney Joan Riley, Jocelyn Rivera, Isis Rivera, Kenneth Paul Ricks, Claire Elizabeth Robinson, Graham Payson Robinson, Tyler Layton Austin Rodenberger, Edward Barry Rosenbaum, Carolyn Marie Ross, Kevin Connor Ross, Sarah Rose Roth, Jude Rohana, Eve Lillian Rudin, Alexander Rufer, Mariano Nicolo Russo, Adele May Sales, Alyssa Lee Samuels, Taylor Santulli, Nui Ni Sar, Anushka Vineet Saraf, Taylor Scatcliffe, Ashley Shikett, Madison Jean Shiro, Xavier Schlimler, Ella Noel Scott, Anna Seacrest, Amanda Esther Sadaka, Carter Siegel, Amy Rose Shanahan, Hao Shin, Jonathan Shi, Rachel Shin, Isla Siddiqui, Dia Singh, Tasia Singh, Nicholas Jason Skillman, Julia Dalton Smith, Zachary Tackett Smith, Veronica Smolinski, Lauren Kate Sosha, Stephen Sokolow, Tristan Solicito, Malaya Sage Arthur Solar. Catherine Soloway. Lindsay Sun. Nicole Sorette.
Jacob Spafford. Christina Ann Spanier. Maxwell Philip Spielman. Lucille Miriam Kreider Steig. Brandon Sullivan Stewart. Michael David Stewart. Drew Mackenzie Stimson. Christina Grace Stoll. Sarah Goodwin Stonestreet. Henry Jacob Storch. Olivia Georgiana Stry. Luke William Struthers. William Richard Strutton. Andrew Swanson. William Forrester Swartz. Dominic Tonelli. Emma Grace Tansky. Ethan Torini. Joseph Michael Terlovsky. Nosheen Dashneem. Jonathan Edward Taylor. Katrina Stephanie Tejeda. Sarah Ann Temple. McKenna Kirsten Thomas. Jaden Amber Tomes. Seth Cutlow Tobin. Olivia Renton Todd. Emma Catherine Toes. Gabriella Toppelberg. Tyler Reed Torno. Michaela B. Tortusa. Milo Tenson Trabolsi. Brian Nguyen Tren. Kian Duke Tren. Edward Samuel Trenk. Samantha Sunday Trombone. An Dui Truong. Alyssa Carly Turtledove. Henry Wilkinson Tyler. Claire Marie Zoros. Alan Joseph Underwood III. Jaden Tyler Valencia. Emily Autumn Van Echo. Aranza Sue Vargas Morales. Gianna Nicole Verdi. Rosalia Guadalupe Villa. Sofia Rose Visarello. Nguyen Vo. Ian Joseph Vogelsang. Hannah Therese Vogt.
Wang Chuhan. Lauren Wang.
荣晨王 Jenny Weisbrot Abigail Wendy Wise Tobias Griffin Weisman Carlisle Rose West Catherine Grace Wetmore Charles Harry White William James Whitaker Connor Jan Wynot George Weiser James Peter Wild Trevor William Wilkes Claire Stephen Williams Cole Andrew Williams Jessica Ann Winslow Hunter Levon Wesneski Kat Withers Maximilian Henrik Wolfeld Kyle Blackledge Wood Catherine Woodruff Shanoya Worrell Michelle Wu Helen Sin Cooper 许一德 Harriet 许 仁义 Miley 徐 Brandon Yam Allison Noel Yanko 陈月杨杨宇 Anna Becker Yankee Julie Ying Sasha Yong Emily Francis Youngkin 张乐岑 尚张 Angela 郑 Daniel 郑 赵无忌周 Via 周 Anna Regina Zakalo Olivia Zumbarik Lucy Zulo Tilly Zwern Givnish
Okay, graduates, please stand. One more. This is the moment. Members, class of 2025, you have completed the the requirements of a Hamilton College degree. And the loudest and most engaged students I've ever met. Although by no means has your education ended, and acting on the authority delegated to me by the Board of Regents of the State of New York and the trustees of Hamilton College, I now confer upon you each and together the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all of the rights and all of the privileges appertaining thereto, and admit you to the fellowship of educated men and women. At this college, named for statesman Alexander Hamilton, where free expression thrives, where hard questions are asked every day, where democracy is not only studied, but it is strengthened, you have prepared yourselves to listen, to think critically, most importantly, to engage across difference, and to become active citizens. Go forth now, class of 2025. Make the world a better place. I know you'll make us proud. I hope you will come home often. Come home often. Class of 2025, congratulations. You deserve all of our great wishes. Onward.
If you are able, please rise while we sing Carissima, the words to which are printed in your program. Everyone is invited to the post-commencement picnic on the Dunham Green. Please remain standing in your places until after the procession has left the building. This assembly is adjourned.